What's up, MLP? It's your Commissioner KHG59 Gaming here, back with the third week of MLP Primetime, and this week I am joined by another new co-host. Would you like to enjoy yourself?
I would like to enjoy myself. I'd also like to introduce myself. Hello, KillerASCII here.
Jesus. All right, so yeah, we got a pattern of vet, young blood, and now we got another vet. We got Mega Vet KillerASCII. He's been with us for 13 seasons, and he is going to be recapping our chosen week 3 games with us. And
Help! I'm still stuck in his basement.
All right. Anyway, this week we got who else but KillerASCII himself going up against Brandon in Nobility. We got Luxance versus Diabetic Raichu in Perplexity. Omnipotent Ollie versus Kurt the Buzzwole in Duality. J-Caps versus HGC in Luxury. And Here We Stand versus Pee-wee McGee, last week's host, in Elementary. So as always, we're going to start with Nobility. And there's nothing too crazy out of the ordinary with this matchup. Lando and Urshifu do normal Lando and Urshifu things.
You say nothing out of the ordinary. I say I didn't have a lander switching on my entire roster.
Oh, I guess
I was terrified of that thing in prep.
There's a Ditto there, but we'll get to that.
Ditto is not a lander, so I answer, but yeah, we will get to that.
And then... Oh, I originally wrote in my notes that I liked Comfey a lot here as well, but it's not the set that I originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I needed Comfey to be my answer to both Opening and Weavile in this.
Which, it still makes a good bit of sense.
Yeah. You would think that I would just have Slowking be the opening answer, but I didn't want to under-prep for an offensive Marina, because I didn't think you would necessarily need to use Marina as Search to answer.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's completely fair. So, we're going to get started with this game. We see Mr. Urshifu and Mrs.
Yeah,
Hawk.
I'm just Scarf Urshifu, so I have no reason not to just go straight to this and see what he's gonna do.
It's also Mrs. Urshifu, jeez.
Yes, don't be sexist. But yeah, he shows that Permuna is in fact offensive. So that's good to know. Means I could be a bit less cautious with Slowking. And here's a fun misprep. I brought AV Swampert, which originally I was gonna be a Fizz Death Swampert for this Weavile with Barry. But I changed it to OV, and, yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be the Weavile switching, but I can't let, Comfey get knocked off yet, so I had to go into Swampert. That was the only one that could take knockoffs here.
Is that banded Weavile, or I don't remember?
No, it ends up being Boots.
Oh, that's still
That's just... No, yeah, because it's no defense Swampert.
Jesus. Did you go into the Comfey right after? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get all this
nice
Roxy Helmet ship off, which is amazing for later. That's gonna put it in just so many
50
things.
for 50, pretty much. And then you get it right
except
back.
that Comfey has recovery, and Weavile does not.
You don't really care what this Garbodor does.
Yeah, so I made a mistake in prep. When I changed my set from a Fizz Death Berry to a Spadef AV, I forgot to take Stealth Rock off the set. So, I figure, hey, I can get these up now. And, yeah, that ends up being very helpful for the long run in this game. I actually did notice that I had rocks, shortly after accepting the challenge, but I just rolled with it. Which was another reason why I was willing to switch into Weavile.
I just thought you were doing crack or something, I don't know.
Well, I mean, considering that I was gonna run a Keyberry Swampert, I probably was.
You're not wrong. Anyway, we see the Lopunny come in on the Swampert. He just goes back into Comfey.
I have a dedicated answer to this mon.
Pretty
so,
high.
Yeah.
He gets free helmet chip because Lop's garbage. Yeah, even has pointed it out. I didn't even notice that until now. That's kind of funny.
So Brandon didn't even notice. My Ditto reveals heavy-duty boots, because I expected Landers to go straight for a knockoff the first time it came in, so I didn't think my item mattered very much, so I just wanted to not take 12% the first time Ditto came into the field. Brandon didn't even notice that was boot, he just thought the transform went before Hazard Kit, which is not how it goes. So that's cool for me that he hasn't quite realized that I'm not Scarf yet. but he turns out to be 3 attack stealth rock set with no knockoff.
I mean, I guess knockoff. What was his other ones? It was EP Sludge Wave and
Rock Slide.
Oh, Rock Slide.
I just didn't expect this to be the rocker. I expected him to bring Jubilife, so yeah. But I mean, he doesn't have another rocker, so it makes sense that it has it here.
Yeah, Dreadicon actually looks decent against the 6 you brought.
That's why I didn't expect a defensive Prim necessarily. I thought Rocky Helmet Rough Skin Dreadicon would be good enough for Urshifu. I didn't expect the Garbodor, but it's still a pen.
That would murder that thing.
Yep.
Anyway, we see the Ditto come in. It's a good scouting play for you because you get to see what the Lando has in store, as well as.
I also learned he's very offensive. It turns out he's mild like form, so yeah.
As all Landos are. He goes into the Raikou, the very good Lando switch in. Which I guess, yeah,
yes, I just go for Sludge Wave because I thought he would go into, I figured it covered the Primarina or the Staion, and it just kind of hit everything except Staion or Garbodor, which nobody goes into. So I just figured it was safe there. It did about the same as Rock Slide, so I thought at least, so I figured, maybe if he stays in, it still does damage.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Raikou.
But now,
we are gonna see the Raikou Scald and actually knock out the Lando.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's a Lando Eye. Even with Ditto HP, it's still frail as heck. That was a bad play on my part. I thought he would think I'm locked into Sludge Wave, and therefore he'd try to set up on me. But, he did not try to set up on me. He just went straight for the Scald. So I actually tried to Earth Power and catch him by surprise, and it backfired for me.
Yeah, in my notes, I was gonna actually ask you why you sacked the Ditto there, because there's a whole G-King in the back.
I thought he would try to Calm Mind right off the bat.
Did G-King not have, like, Psyshock or anything? Or no, it was Eerie.
Yeah, you'll see what the G-King is. It'll show its stats.
It was like Eerie Spell. I don't even know what an Eerie Spell is, but...
We'll see. But yeah, so now I can go into Pert, because I know I live a Scald here.
Does 0, easily. By the way.
Yeah, because I'm Spadef, so yeah.
Spadef AV Pert, jeez. That's a good U-turn, because now you can heal Comfey back up.
Yep. This is going to be a bit of a weird scenario. He goes for Mega Kick, and I figure he's not Mega Kicking again, because, like, he knows that's a losing interaction. He takes Helmet more than I take damage if I just spam Synthesis. So I think he has no reason to keep clicking Mega Kick, because I'm just going to 1v1 him.
The miss is a little annoying, because it does run... While that you do end up winning that 1v1, it kind of does deplete your Synthesis PP when you only have 8 of it. Plus,
well, I just have to get him in range of Draining Kiss.
Yeah, but remember, there's also a Weavile in the back that you need this for, so the
right, but it only does about 50 something if I remember. So like I'll easily be out of Weavile range once I get a Draining Kiss off.
Yeah, I mean you only need 1, but considering there's 80, it's not.
Yeah,
something
I only need to live 1 hit.
About. That's all.
Yeah, I only need to. Yeah. So I don't expect him to Mega Kick again. But he does Mega Kick again, and now I lose 1 billion on my Slowking for no reason.
Nice.
So that Gunk Shot miss kind of sucks, because I think he thinks I'm Sugar Berry, so that's why he does Stomping Tantrum, which he does actually have. But, he can't stay in now, because if I am Sugar, then I easily live whatever Garbodor was going to do there. Sorry, I was just talking about the miss in a bit. Yeah, so he has to switch out. He goes hard opening from Garbodor. I guess he thought I would overpredict the Weavile, but nah, I didn't think he would risk Weavile here, and this ends up being very bad for him.
I mean, I actually kind of agree with
I
kind of agree with the Lopsack. It's kind of not doing much. Because Garbodor can still help out with Serp, Weavile still revenges Serp, you still have the Prim at decent health for Urshifu, and the Lando is like the one thing that can guaranteed chew through G-King still.
He shows the Draining Kiss Primarina, which I found really odd. But I ran a little bit of speed on Comfy, so I know I'm faster and I can encore. He gets a crit, which is annoying, but I'm able to keep this low. My goal is to make sure that when this hits rocks again, it's 100% in Wicked low range. Because right now, my win con is looking like Scarf Wicked. So that crit's annoying, but I do live it, which means I can still Synthesis up here. And that's all I really need.
That's kind of a scary crit, but I do like the encore because now you can heal up the Comfey.
Yeah, because I think he was going to flip turn out, or maybe even Moonblast, but me being able to encore him into Dragon Kiss is huge here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, as long as
now
your
he has
lift's
to hard
there,
switch.
you're good.
Now he has to hard switch, but I did enough damage for what I need, and now I know I can just stack Comfy here, because this base at the point where I realized if I get that chip on Landers, I win the game if I don't get hacked. Because now that Dragon Kiss puts it in Leaf Storm range from Superior.
Yep.
I'm Star Superior, so he has to go into Gargoda to not lose to Superior. And now this chip puts it easily in Wicked Blow range.
Yep, exactly.
So now everything dies to Wicked Blow, but thing isn't quite over yet, because there's Aftermath and a Rocky Helmet, which I hadn't seen yet. So now I have to live in Ice Shard from Weavile. Fortunately, it's Jolly, and I always live in.
And he does.
If it was Adamant, that could have been a roll, but fortunately, I didn't get through. And now, yeah, Primarina does not reveal the Aqua Jet.
You definitely have to be Jolly there. So yeah, Killer wins 1-0.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else except that I'm happy my misprep went in my favor.
Fucking
it's always fun when that happens.
Rocks. Oh my god. Anyway, next up we got our Perplexity game for this week, which is Luxance versus Rye. And at preview, obviously I am a huge Metagross fan, and I see the Scissor there. And then I look at everything else, I'm like, maybe if Scissor's gone, this thing can do some work.
Yeah, so when I'm looking at this matchup, I see one side has the Dragapult Vial, which is really going to put a lot of pressure on Sylveon in this matchup. And then on the other side, Lux's biggest threats are biggest threat is Garchomp, but there's a Mesprit and a Miltank, which are both going to kind of shut Garchomp down for a bit.
They can combine both, check whatever set Garchomp may be.
Yeah, the one thing I also noted here was that Greninja would be the wild card, because if you look at Greninja, there isn't really a good switch into it. So depending on how Lux plays Greninja, it can put in a lot of work here and open a lot of holes.
Well, yeah, if you look, the water resist is Dragapult.
Exactly. So, depending on how he plays it and what the set is, it's going to make or break this game for Lux, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get started. And we see the Gren turn 1 with Pult. Now, we saw this exact lead off last week, and Pult did 97 to Gren with U-turn. Let's see if that's what happens here. So the Gren reveals to be Scarf turn 1. He gets a good bit of chip on Pult, which likely puts it in a range of a water move. I'm not really sure. But if he gets hazards up, definitely.
Maybe Hydro Pump, but definitely not anything else with that chip.
Yeah. That's a lot of chip with U-turn, though, as well.
I understand wanting to get the Scarf Dark Pulse off turn 1, but, now that you've revealed that, you're going to have a bit of issues actually using Gren later on in this matchup, because he knows it's Scarf now. Yeah, Spikes are great. Nice, hard Greninja that you got to put that pressure on. And just goes for Dark Pulse, which is fine. You don't really know what the Mesprit is. You can just get damage on it.
And it does reveal that Comfey is kind of the dedicated Gren check.
Which makes sense looking at this matchup.
Yeah.
But that gives you free Metagross on Comfy.
So here, I see this... I saw this double and was initially very confused.
Yeah, I mean... So I wasn't sure if you were, expecting, Miltank or Mesprit to come back in instead of Scissor. But, yeah, it doesn't look like a very good position that you're in now, with the Sylveon in front of Scissor.
Which, yeah, he can probably just freely just get out of here and then maybe get, something like Weavile in.
Because in theory, if he takes a Bullet Punch, he's not going to be able to check
Bullet Punched. And Mystical Fire right to the face.
I don't know why I don't know why Ryan clicked Bullet Punch here, at all. Because we see the Babiri Berry, and I mean, sure, yeah, killing Sylveon's great for Dragapult, but at the same time, it never killed, and you really like having Scissor in. Because as mentioned, that's the only Steel resist.
Yeah, look at Metagross now.
Yeah, now your Metagross check is Miltank, which is cool, but that's going to make it a lot harder for to beat Garchomp.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was the very, very, very risk. Very.
I don't think that was a good trade for Rye, no matter what set the Sylveon went. I'm gonna be honest.
It didn't end
And
up
I
being a
think,
trade. Sylveon's still alive. And, there's
well,
a
I mean
ton
the
of things here
damage,
that it can
traded
wish back
damage.
up on.
Well, I'm just saying the trade damage.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit too healthy now too, because of the
There's a good amount of
which is
stuff
cool
here
for,
that it can heal up
it's cool
on.
for Lux.
Yeah, so we see the Weavile coming after. He just goes, Quillfish again.
Actually, may I make one more point about that Sylveon really quickly?
Yeah,
It bothered
sure.
me that much. So it turns out this Sylveon actually has no defense investment at all. So, yeah, that Scissor was never coming close to killing Sylveon. So, it really bothers me that that play was made by Rye. Because, like, he should have known he was never going to kill.
Yeah, I'm very perplexed by that play as well, no pun intended. He's got 3
Yeah,
layers of
the third
spikes up, but he
up.
also sacks the Quillfish.
I don't like the Quillfish sack. I think you could have easily kept this for Weavile later, even just to sack. And it's also just nice to have to click some other move, because you have T-Wave on this, which you don't ever get to show. So that could be nice to paralyze something, because there was no T-Wave immune on their team.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
In fact, I might even click T-Wave instead of the second spike, like right in front of Weavile.
Yeah, I think that's also fair. I mean, looking at his team, the team isn't really going to be into Seismic Toss right now, especially unless you want to take Chip on Garchomp or Metagross, which I don't think Lux wants to do.
Well, I think you can wish up on this with Sylveon. I think you live to Seismic Tosses.
With Rocks, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe you're right.
Probably not with Rocks.
But either way, you could get Lopunny in on a Seismic Toss. Just no human is going to go for, like, Thunder Wave here. Yeah. It's probably either EQ or S-Toss.
Yeah, even though, the Quillfish is dead, there are 3 layers of spikes up, which limits pull to only 1 more switch in, assuming it's not boots. But that is also true,
but at the same time, the Weavile has boots and the Mesprit is immune, so it only helps with Dragapult and Pumpkin.
Pretty much, yeah. But also, what I want to point out is Gren being low. If he does end up having Defog on the Comfey, he can get rid of the Rocks as well, which allows Gren to come in as much as once. Because Gren on a timer is really not all that good for dealing with this team.
This is true, but I also think the spikes are more useful than getting rid of the Roxas, because you still have a very healthy Lopunny at this point. Speaking of the healthy Lopunny,
Mesprit come in, Rocky Helmet, Chip.
What a surprise, the Fat Psychic is Rocky Helmet against the Mega Lopunny.
Gren's back in.
Alright, so is he gonna click the Hydro Pump in Torrent?
Nope. No. Nope.
No Torrent boosted Hydro Pump, which honestly that could have almost won right here. The only thing that would be able to check it at this point would be the Comfey itself, or like Outshard Weavile maybe. But no, he just goes for the Dark Pulse, and if
you had Hydro Pump on this set, which
it turns out he's only Surf. It turns out it's Surf, but it's modest Surf, so like that was doing a lot with Torrent.
Surely that was still killing Pulp at the very least.
Oh yeah, it was definitely killing. I mean, Pulp was never staying in on a 37% Greninja anyway, so who cares? Or at 37% on Greninja, I should say.
But yeah, I think this was the part where you needed to start spamming water moves, because Lop is gonna get the chip on Mesprit it needs anyway, just, unless it's rest.
Yeah. So that, and also, I think a Surf is all the chip that Lopunny needs on the Mesprit as well. You lose your Greninja in the process. But unfortunately, he locks in a Dark Pulse, which forces him to switch out. And we find out the Comfey is actually defogged, so those spikes are gone forever.
Which is unfortunate. We see a double here. Lux is going to SD up as he goes for the Ice Punch. It does about half.
Ice Punch is good on Miltank, because that's definitely needs to be a Garchomp check. And this crit is going to be huge.
And they end up trading.
That doesn't necessarily look that big right now, but it's huge, because that Miltank could have healed up in front of Sylveon. and maybe even Metagross if it's not Bullet Punch. But now with no Miltank, there's a lot more issues with Metagross in the open because you only have Mesprit for the two of them.
And if it doesn't have rest, it absolutely cannot check both of them.
Even with rest, it probably can't check either of them. Well, not Metagross at least.
So he's gonna get the Grenin here. He knows what he can click. He clicks U-turn.
He just U-turn. I think it's fine.
That's
it wasn't Dark
That's a good U-turn because now you heal Sylveon up.
Yeah, this is one of the only things you can heal on, so that's fine. As Comfy's just staying in and can't really do anything to you, so... Unfortunately, you can't really do anything to it either, and the Toxic is gonna beat you. So you get a Metagross in safely, that's good. It turns out it... Yeah... Back into Gren on Mesprit. And he just Dark Pulses again. I don't understand why he's allergic to Surf at all.
Yeah.
But fortunately, Rai's playing pretty classically with this Comfy and letting Metagross come in, so...
Metagross just mashes, he'll get more chip off on the Mesprit. He's gonna Iron Defense now, right in his face.
Iron Defense in front of the Mesprit, which looked whack to me, because you would think this thing would have coverage for Metagross. Because, well, it's the best it's technically the best Metagross check on the team. Knockoff, Foul Play, Shadow Ball would be amazing here. If it had it for the Metagross.
I mean, Stealth Rock, T-Wave, we don't know what the other two moves are.
No, you would assume at least one of them is an attack.
I think we see U-turn later, but I don't know what the last one is.
Yeah, we will see U-turn later, and I don't think we ever learned the last one. But, yeah, that's the problem. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
the Thunder Wave's on the Resto Chesto. So now he has to T-Wave again, because he doesn't actually have any way to beat this Metagross.
Yeah, there's the U-turn. He's gonna get the pull.
He goes hard Dragapult on the Iron Defense, which, you know what, good play. Good play. You need to do that. Because now he can get the chip on Metagross. The problem is, he doesn't have anything else to kill this. I don't know why he goes into Comfy at all. I'm not sure if he, I'm not sure if he misclicked or something. Or if he was just trying to
I'm not sure what the deal with that was. But Mesprit's gonna keep on, heading out.
He's gonna U-turn, and he's gonna go hard Weavile on the rest. And this is where the game's basically over, because now that he got the rest off, nothing on this team can do damage.
Yeah, the rest off and the pull gone, yeah, this is pretty much over.
So this is why, when you have a Mon that's supposed to check another Mon, you make sure it can actually beat that Mon. Because your Metagross answers didn't really beat Metagross, but at the same time, this is where having a Miltank alive would have been great. Because if you had been able to Seismic Toss this Pokemon, you would have been able to put it in Dragapult range, or at least Weavile after the kill.
Yeah, I think that's where the crit really comes into play, is in this later sequence. That's why I didn't want to mention it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I really like this Metagross set here. Because General Scissor sets kind of struggle with this. Yeah,
it's certainly set up. It's certainly Abuse Scissor.
You're going to be able to hit it with anyway.
Yeah, it's certainly Abuse Scissor. I thought it was a bit odd versus Dragapult Mesprit, but clearly it worked, so...
I mean, you just mash both of them. Neither of them really appreciate that. But
well, it's more like that they can do enough damage. As we saw, Dragapult alone did 50, so...
Yeah, exactly. So Lux is going to wrap up a 3-0 win here. I really liked the Metagross set, and like I said, just because it's the set that even Scissor is going to struggle with taking down. There is a Scissor set that I thought of that helps beat that Metagross, but he never would have brought it unless he knew that exact set was coming.
But let's move on.
Yep, next we got our duality game. We have Ollie versus Kurt. Let's see if it's better than Manbird versus Eevee.
That's a pretty low bar you're setting there. Anyways, at preview, so look at Urshifu and look at the switch-ins. The Fighting Resist is the Mega Gardevoir.
The Fighting Resist is Tangrowth. What do you mean?
Okay, thank you. And then Mega Pidgeot. The Flying Resist is Xerkatry.
Yeah, which that's not an answer. That gets chewed right through.
And then on the other side, the 1,000 arrows resist from that Zygarde 50 is a Piloswine or a Latios, neither which are good arrows resists, of course. And Zama answer is just Corviknight, which isn't even a fighting resist. Or at least it looks like it to me, but we'll find out what the Zama check is.
It could be one. I don't know the memory calcs, but...
And then Mega Gardevoir. The Mega Gardevoir answer is, like, Autumn.
It could be worse.
So, like, even though these teams on paper both look really fast, and this looks like it's going to be a long game, this actually looks like it's going to be a pretty quick game, because both teams' offense look really good here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. So, we're gonna, get started with this game. We're gonna see, the Ninetales and the Urshifu right out of the gate. And, Ninetales
Hard Latios.
Gonna just Fire Blast there.
Does 0 and forces the Ninetales out, as this T-Wave, that was really good prep, and just nice to know that that T-Wave was very free, and he gets it. And now we see
that
Latios is actually
not a 2-hit KO, so the Latios can recover up, and also...
Yeah, Latios is actually the check to Zama.
And really
even though it gets the Howl off... Even though it gets the Howl off, it's just not doing enough, especially with Helmet.
Lottie's gonna recover up here as he gets the safeguard.
I thought that recover
up.
was a bit of a choke, but then the safeguard comes out, and I don't know why Kurt thought that safeguard was a plan, but he did, and he clicks it there.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with recover too, because Aura Sphere.
No, I thought Aura Sphere was the correct play there too, but it worked out clearly.
And Behemoth Bash can still kill at +1 even if you recover up.
Yeah, no, you were in Behemoth Bash range. I didn't like the recover.
The only way recovers the right play there is if he gets fully parried or he clicks Safeguard.
Yeah. Which I didn't understand. And now he gets another recover and
gets it's just dead, and so he actually gets full.
So he fishes for pairs and gets them, basically. But, I mean, that's kind of... that's kind of Kurt's fault for clicking Safeguard.
But, he lost the Zama for absolutely nothing, because now the Lottie is sitting pretty at full health.
The only thing he did was learn what the Latios set was. And he threw away the best mon in the format for it. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, it's the best mon we have allowed on our tier list, for sure. Anyway, we're going to see the Mega Gardevoir come in here. And he's just going to go straight into the experience slot. Audino. Love the nickname, by the way.
It was a nice teleport, so I respect that. He gets Zygarde in. So we see Sub. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, it's probably Sub Coil. It's Sub Toxic. And Piloswine, as it should be, is Iceless. As you should be against your Zygarde.
I don't like that set at all.
So, like... Yeah, I don't know why you brought Sub-Toxic.
I thought Sub-Coil would be decent if you're expecting Icicle Spear.
No, Sub-Coil's good, because then you can just make it so Icicle Spear doesn't break your subs. But it wasn't Sub-Coil.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate. And while, like, the Toxic does help out run the Piloswine...
It does, like, but you didn't need to click Sub to get that Toxic off.
I think this was just a wasted Zygarde set, because look
Absolutely.
Where's the 1,000 arrows resist?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Piloswine does chew them pretty well, so I understand sort of the logic, but Sub was never the bring, even if you're Sub-Toxic. If you're Toxic, you shouldn't be Sub-Toxic. And Circuitry hard swaps, which basically guarantees it's not a Volt Switch circuitry, which is good to know for later.
Also gets rid of the
everything's getting knocked off now.
Quite nice.
Ninetales takes rocks damage, which is interesting, because now you know it's not boot. As it just goes directly for the Hex.
Hex do 0 to Lottie.
Yeah, I don't know why he went for Hex here, because Fire Blast actually does more. Is it to Latios than the Hex does?
You see the teleport and Zygarde's gonna get back in here.
Yeah, I mean, he's making good plays with Gardevoir, but he also let the Gardevoir get paralyzed. So, yeah, Ollie's just outplaying the heck out of Kurt right now, is basically what I'm thinking. As it shows to be Sub-Toxic Protect Zygarde for some reason. That third hit did almost as much as an entire sub. Now, I mean, I respect the arrows, but that's really not enough for this point.
Almost,
Again,
which
as
if you look at the coil, that's why I like sub coil here, because if you get 2 of them up, then 2 hits may not break.
well, Wicked Blow ignores the coils, but yeah, that's what I was saying with this one. As Ninetales is forced in, and here we see it's actually Scarf Ninetales, which okay. I don't get it.
Is that really his best option for a Scarfer here? Like, he has the Zama that's faster than the Pidge and the Lottie.
Honestly, I'm gonna pull up his team really quick because I really want to know if he had no better Scarfer than a Ninetales in this game. I mean, I assume part of the reason his Ninetales was because it's faster than Urshifu, which is why I guess he didn't bring a Scarf Obstagoon. But there is also a Tornadus Eye and a Scolipede that can be speed boost, and both which are on the bench.
Wait, what the hell? Where's the Tornai?
Like, I'm just not gonna Scarf the Scolipede, but it can
like,
still reach the
Tornai is
bench.
probably checked by Dino, but still
It can still knock off, it can superpower.
It's still putting a lot more pressure on it, for sure.
Yeah, and they're really good switching to Torn either, because Hurricane plus 2 waves gets everything.
With Pylo, but
yeah.
yeah,
So
I don't quite think that was it either.
I don't think Ninetales was the bring here as far as Scarfers, but I respect bringing it because I like Ninetales and I think it's underrated in draft.
And now we're gonna see the circuitry, and here comes Autono. He misses Hypnosis and gets the Blunder Policy off,
which makes sense since it wasn't Volt Switch. Now he's gonna go for Hypnosis again, which I don't understand. Well, no, I do understand to an extent because Autono is like the biggest threat to the circuitry. Especially because I believe it's Assault Vest. No, I think we find that out at the end. Actually, we have this set. Assault Vest on.
Yeah, you can check.
So he needs to sleep this, because he never kills it otherwise. So I understand going for that Hypnosis, but Hypnosis shows why it's a terrible move, and misses again.
And
fortunately, this Autono has no stab. String Punch is the strongest thing it can click.
Which he misses.
As now he goes into Latios, and he still
times.
clicks Hypnosis 2 more times. Like, I'm pretty sure the circuitry is Dazzling Loom. It has to be. In which case, you need to kill the Latios. You can't put it to sleep. Ollie makes a great play and sacks Lottie to sleep, and now he has Audinut, which cannot be put to sleep and always beats circuitry. So, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I think that wasn't the great.
Okay, so I can only assume that Ice Beam was to guarantee a roll on Gardevoir, because it turns out this Audio actually has Iron Tail in the back, and it just doesn't click.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now you can go into your Lottie, Ninetales, and like that miss sucks because maybe you could have gotten the kill before Lottie woke up. But at the same time, there's still the Audino in the back, so whatever.
Yeah, so the Ninetales are going to take out the Lottie.
There's also a Sucker Punch Bandit Urshifu as well, so it really doesn't matter.
The Pidgeot is just going to clean up this game.
Yeah, Pidgeot also chews that Fire Blast, and it just wins this. I was sad that Ollie couldn't find a way to save Death, but better to take the 5-0 than to throw away the win trying to get the 6-0.
Yeah, so we see Ollie win commandingly 5-0 over Kurt. I pulled this up on the side because I was just interested in the Paraturn on Zama actually lost me the game, which I don't think that's true. Surely it stunk, but I don't.
Honestly, I just think the person who played better won this game. I don't really have much else to say.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Ollie had a very good performance all around, and like I said with Kurt, I don't get a good bit of the prep, especially like the Zygarde set. I think the Zygarde set was not very good here.
Oh, and like, you didn't bring removal, so you were taking a ton from rocks, and just Urshifu just got to click Banded CC on your team so easily here. Especially once Tangrowth got knocked off.
Yeah, exactly. I think that game was pretty cut and dry. There's nothing else much to say about it. So next up we have, for Luxury, we got JCaps versus HGC. So the Spectre answer is Crook, which could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best answer, but it's far from the worst one. What I immediately noticed was that, the only psychic resist that GC has is Celestiva, which Deoxys gets Thunderbolt for. So Deoxys can put in a lot of work here potentially.
I liked Deoxys here as well, for sure. What else? The other thing I wanted to mention was the Dio speed, and you already did.
Yeah, well, I also want to mention the Gather Zapdos because the only flying resists on the team are Celestiva and Thundurus. So like Celestiva needs to stay healthy for Zapdos as well. So it's under a lot of pressure here because it's the only Deoxys and Zapdos answers.
And for that matter, Clef answer too.
It's also the best Crook answer.
So yeah, I think
Like Celesteal is under a ton of pressure to stay healthy, and on the other aren't as reliable. The only really good one here is Gallade, but it's gonna have trouble breaking Clef plus Dio.
Clef's probably one of the best checks to Gallade out there, so.
Yeah. Especially, yeah.
So we're gonna see the leadoff Shandy against Thundy. It's gonna be forced out right away, and he clicks Overheat. Turn 1.
Which makes sense because they're gonna switch out now anyways. I don't realize it at the time. I just thought that was Scarf Chandler. That's Specs Overheat right there, and we'll find that out later.
Ran right through, so we're gonna see Specs sub up on the Crook.
And then he just clicked Shadow Ball, which I didn't get. I thought if you're sub, you'd be sub Wisp in this matchup. But he's not. He just Shadow Balls and switches. So good Earthquake by JCaps.
You're gonna see the Calm Mind Slurpuff here on the Chandelure as the Blastoise is just gonna straight up die.
Yeah, because there was no Ghost Resist. I didn't even notice this at the beginning, and I didn't even remember to talk about this here. There was no Ghost Resist.
Thundy plots
so
here.
Look at
he goes for the Shadow Ball again, which is actually really nice.
That was a good read because something like a knockoff or Dark Pulse was definitely what you'd think Thundurus would click that turn. But it just goes for the nasty plot, and now it's nearly dead.
Here he goes hard into the Gyarados and just dies, but I don't think he necessarily.
I understand sacking Zapdos. It does look not very important, although I don't know what the Toxapex is, so I'm not sure why. Actually, I know what the Toxapex is. But yeah, looking at this Pex, I think it might have been the sack instead. No, it's good for setup Celesteela. He's fine.
It could also help out with the Slurpuff too on a defensive side if it has anti-setup.
I mean, it's just like Celesteela is hard to be a threat defensively at this point when the Specs Shady answer is already gone. But now you can go into Dio, Revenge, and yeah, it just gets forced out immediately.
Seeds again, good play.
So I would say that was a good play, but at the same time, he has no fire resist, so like, it doesn't actually help enough. If he didn't have Earthquake there, I think he needed to double.
I think that was also fair, yeah. He's gonna see it goes for Overheat, and this is just gonna claim one.
Yeah, like, he has to sack a Pokemon, and he sacks a Slowpuff, which, good play. That mon's not doing anything in this matchup.
He doesn't do anything, period. It's garbage.
It's a good mon, and Calm Mind's not an awful set, but it is in this matchup. As now he goes through Spectre, which forces Crook back in, it subs again, it Shadow Balls again. I still don't know what GC is thinking right now, and we'll find out what it's thinking later, but for now, he's just forcing
himself to steal on the... We see the Rock Tomb, which is
the Rock Tomb, which basically... yeah, that's not something you see very often.
I think it's actually quite nice in this game, though.
Yeah, I think it's cool. You need something to... It's good to punish some stuff.
He can just start safely clicking Flamethrower as well, which just
yeah, there's no Pokemon that lives over. So... yeah, Celesteela is gone. Now he decides he gets sack Chandler, which, yeah, the second resists are dead, so Deoxys gets...
yeah, you just need Dio plus the Fat and Crook to win the game.
As he just goes directly for the Psychic on Gallade, which I found odd, but then Gallade goes for Sub, which I found even odd. And it turns out this was Sub SD dual stab Gallade. It actually could not do anything to this Deoxys at all.
I very much disagree with that set.
Yeah, if anything, I think he had to SD and not go for the Sub there. I think he had to.
I think he 100% needed Sneak in this game. There's a
I think
DOSD.
knockoff was quite fun as well.
Either or. Just something.
In fact, I think knockoff's better because it pressures the table.
Yeah.
But this set was very ill-advised, especially because I don't remember if he found out or not, but this could be unaware. So this Glade was never actually being snapped.
Oh, no, never. He actually goes for disable.
And it turns out, yeah, it was sub-disabled, but I don't know why you're disabling when this Crook has already shown it can swap moves and it has Earthquake, and as we see, Earthquake does a ton. Like, it's sub-disabled Nasty Pop, which I understand the reasoning, but you had no plan to actually get rid of the Crook.
I think Wispus was much better in general.
Yeah, if I was the one prepping for this, I would have probably bought Spectre with Shadow Ball, Wisp, and Dark Pulse, maybe. Maybe Dark Pulse, because there was I believe it was a Kamala that was benched in this game, which, you know, it's good to have at least something for, but you don't need it. But yeah, I don't like the Spectre bring here, and honestly, I'm just not sure if HTC made his sets with JCap's team in mind, because a lot of them didn't look like they made sense in the matchup at all.
Another thing I want to mention is that HGC left the Alolan Muck on the bench, and that's probably the best thing you have for Dio and or Shandy.
Yeah, he left his best answer to both of those mods on the bench, and he got punished for it. That's really all I can say.
We saw a random Slurpuff come for whatever reason. I think Alolan Muck was much, much more useful in that slot.
You know what else I think could have come in this game and would have been more useful? The Appleton, honestly. Because thick fat Appleton would have been able to at least chew the fire moves, and it would have also been a good Crook check, which he didn't really have.
Yeah, it takes Crook checking pressure off Steelo, like you said.
Yeah, and it's the fire resist, and it's another fire resist, so you don't have just Blastoise for that.
Appleton,
like if you bring Appleton plus Alolan Muck, there really is nothing that Chandler can lock into.
Yeah, exactly. I get your point.
There's also a Silvally that didn't come either, which could have done whatever you needed to do.
Even that probably was better than Slurpuff, but what can you do? I think JCaps definitely deserved the win. I think he played better and prepped.
I think he prepped better. Yeah, he prepped better, played better. The better player won. There's not much to say here.
Yep. And finally, we were moving on to Here We Stand versus Pee Wee McGee for Elementary.
And
I don't like your Turok answers, Mr. Pee Wee McGee.
Yeah, there is no Turok answer. Looking at this team, there just isn't one. Period.
It's probably his main. It's likely his main win con because Mew is likely going to be fat for either Lele or something else.
Well, Mew's also the only hazard setter other than the Terrakion, so it's very likely it is the hazard setter in this matchup.
And at least early in mid game, I think Weavile's going to be thinking a lot more about the buttons that it clicks.
Yeah, although Weavile at least does have some checks in this game, particularly the Umbreon.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, on the other hand, I don't see many win cons for Mickey at all, looking at this team preview. Celesteela is one of the best Mega Beedrill Lancers, so that mon's never doing anything but U-turning out. Rotom Heat is hard-walled by the Lantern, so it's actually a momentum loss, which is not very common for Rotom forms. It's looking like some combination of Keldeo and Tapu Lele are going to be his win cons in this game.
And even then,
because the Keldeo switching is
you need Celesteela gone for both of them to truly go
well,
wild.
Celesteela is not a very good Keldeo switching.
Not
like,
switching,
if this is a Specs Keldeo, he only really needs to worry about shipping the Lantern, I think.
Not switching, but this thing, it could still, like, if it's very healthy, it can take a hit and chunk with Air Slash, but
yeah, if I'm looking at this matchup, I'm expecting a Specs Keldeo and a Scarf Tapu Lele. And we'll see whether P. Mickey brought those and how successful those sets are.
Alright, we will see how that goes now. We're gonna see Mew and Jirachi right off the bat here. Mew's
So it
gonna
looks
get a...
like everyone leading with their hazards, but Doom Desire right off the bat.
Which, honestly, I like Doom Desire here.
Yeah, and I actually remember calcing as I was watching this game, or after it happened, and it turns out that Jirachi's going to be offensive. So you can see it does clean 47. But I'd just like to point out McGee did absolutely nothing to capitalize on the Doom Desire.
I also think it was way too risky for HWS to stay in there. Like, he has a lantern right there.
Yeah,
sure,
but at the same time...
He doesn't want the spikes gone, but if you switch out, you keep the Mew healthy, you can get him up later.
Yeah, you'd still have a very healthy Mew. And you have a free lantern, which Rotom he literally cannot hurt, and that doesn't take damage from Doom Desire.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought staying in with Mew was very, very risky there.
At the same time, though, I can't shame too much when he made the best play for what actually happened. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he just calls the defog, and yeah. And now Rotom can't really do anything to Mew because it can't set up.
Okay,
I'm
now
actually
you
surprised
go
he doesn't
Lantern,
just heal.
and now you Volt Block and get momentum
Yeah,
back.
speak of Lantern, there is no electric immunity on P. Mickey's team. So I don't get why he scalds there instead of just Volt switching out, but that's fine. Now you Volt, which is annoying because you could have Terrakion in before, but now you have it in.
Yep. We're gonna see the Jirachi
As Jirachi comes in to take the CT, just SDs. This is amazing. Look at. Oh, can you pause? Oh. Alright, so, well, you see what happens in the actual game, but I'd just like to point out, there are 2 spikes on the field. No, you can skip to the next turn, yeah.
I can stay on 8.
The fighting resists, the only Pokemon that live are the fighting resists, in theory, which is the max HP Jirachi and the, the max HP Lele and Beedrill are the only things that still live here. I see max HP there at 100. But after spikes, Beedrill actually just dies. Like, right here, right now.
Defense, doesn't it?
No, but after the spikes, Beedrill always dies here. Lele, sure, it can live, but it'll be coming in after spikes at like 20%, and then it never comes in again. And you can always Swords Dance in front of Umbreon, so it doesn't matter if Lele comes in and forces you out. So you should always click Close Combat here. The only way that goes badly is if it's like Sash Jirachi, or like maybe a very, very fizzed out Jirachi. But you actually know from the Doom Desire damage, it's maxing special attack Jirachi. In fact, I think it's modest, so I don't know why, but he decides to click Stone Edge, hard reading something?
Something, yeah. But thankfully the Psychic does not kill him and Terrakion is still alive.
Yeah, fortunately for Here We Stand, but he did take 90% on his Terrakion. Literally no reason. Because if we're gonna see next turn...
CC goes right through.
Yeah, this thing just dies to close combat, so I don't know why... Like, again, it was offensive Jirachi, so there was no reason to risk anything. So now he has a 10% interact on.
And get 40 on Selly.
Yeah, so Lele forced Tarak out, gets chip on Selly, but Selly's gonna heal up now, because it's actually Toxic Protect, which is a great set here.
Here we're gonna see hard Keldeo.
Which, I mean, that's fair, that's a good play.
We're gonna see Sub here, and I just want to point out that only Volt Switch will break Sub, so there actually is a way for McGee to abuse this.
No, Sub Calm Mind actually is looking very good right now. He's actually positioned it very well. He Calm Minds, and Volt Switch does break Sub, however. But Terrakion comes in. Not like anything else, and Terrakion loses the speed tie, if there was one, and it's just gone. The Terrakion won the game, and came in for free on almost anything is gone now. Now he's forced into Lantern again, and now you see, like, Volt Switch is barely beating Sub. But it's Psycho Cut Weavile, so fortunately, he doesn't get 6-0'd. Well, not 6-0, but swept. But he did lose the Weavile and the Terrakion, which were the 2 breakers.
So, okay, with this next turn, we're gonna see him switch out, which the Lantern could kill, but I think this is a choke, just because if you saw from the the Volt Switch damage before, if you CM one more time, you actually live, and assuming the Moltres isn't Scarf, you just claim another Pokemon, or at least force a lot of chip on Selly to where one of your other mons can break through
how
it.
much health is Mew at this moment in time?
42.
And Celesteela is at...
Celesteela's at 90, but you can get chip on that to the
Yeah.
point where one of these two can kill it, for sure.
Yeah, so, yeah, I agree with you. Although I guess it also risks a crit, but at the same time, you're probably correct that Calm Mind was
Just
the play
call
that
shenanigans, as they say.
Yeah. There's also the possibility that he hasn't shown Thunderbolt yet, as well.
Which I think that Keldeo in was the only way he could really punch through.
Actually, no, he's shown the full set. Never mind. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that he needed to get that sword off there, but he didn't. And now we're gonna see that there's just no breaking power in this game at this point. And even though that pair, I hated that T-Wave and Umbreon because he couldn't Toxic the Umbreon, but then it just gets the full pairs, and now Celesteela... Well, to save you guys a lot of trouble, Celesteela is just gonna win from here. Because there's nothing Mickey can do to break it now.
Yeah, that's what, because if the Moltres wasn't Scarfed, Celesteela was the only thing that didn't die and could kill the Keldeo in return, but McGee gets the chip on that for the other Pokemon on his team.
Yeah, and now it turns out it's fully Spadef Celesteela, so it's getting Spadef boosts, and there's nothing that can break it because the only physical attacker is the Mega Beedrill.
Which does like 25% at best.
I will say though, that's not really Mickey's fault in prep because his physical attackers actually were terrible in this matchup. The only ones he benched were Diggersby, Druddigon, and LeafGreen.
Oh, Diggersby.
So unless you brought some Druddigon, like Life Force, Sheer Force Druddigon, never breaking Celesteela on the physical side. This is just really good prep from here we stand.
That would have been hot.
You know what would have been cool as well, though? If Mickey hadn't benched his Tornadus Therian. Because he could have, like, taunted this Celesteela, or just heat-waved and stuff. Could have brought a nasty hot set to break it, maybe. And yeah, like, Overheat's doing a good chunk right now, but, like, next one's doing nothing, and it just fills up with lefties and Beach Seed. And he goes Hard Keldeo on the Heavy Slam. Yeah, he goes Hard Keldeo on the Heavy Slam, and now the Celesteela just never die.
Barring a crit.
So even if he crits his Celesteela, it doesn't even matter at this point. The game's still over.
Yep.
But he doesn't crit it, and so yeah, now Beedrill is completely incapable of doing anything here.
Yep, and that's going to be a wrapped up 4-0 for Here We Stand. Yeah, like I said, the main choke was with the Keldeo, if you ask me.
Well, the main choke on Mickey's part, because the main choke on Here We Stand's part was not just going directly for the close combat.
Yeah, definitely not the cleanest played game on both sides, but well enough by HWS to secure the win.
Yeah. I will say, though, it was a bit interesting that Keldeo set come, because HWS had a Mega Altaria as well.
That doesn't hit at all. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't bring Alt in this matchup. I wouldn't bring Alt in this matchup anyway. There's a Scarf Lele that can outspeed it. There's a Scarf Jirachi that can outspeed it.
Oh, come on. Lele's... You don't need a Scarf to outspeed an Altaria.
A lot of Jirachi sets can check Alt.
While I sort of agree, at the same time...
+1 DD.
While I do sort of agree with you, at the same time, Moltres never hit the field. So, it clearly wasn't that necessary. And it was only really, like, extra insurance in this matchup. Because I don't know what it beats that didn't come. I guess, like, Beedrill, if Diggersby can, you need Celesteela for Diggersby. But that's, like, it.
So yeah, that's going to wrap up our 5 games, for this episode. Solo KHD will run down what happened the rest of Week 3 now. Hey guys, it's Solo KHD here, finishing up the Week 3 roundup. We already covered Killer versus Brandon, but Jimmy picked up a 4-0 win over Slick. BM picked up a 1-0 win over Harris. Tails beat Nala 5-0. Eagle Gene defeated Jamal 3-0. Chess defeated Lapis 3-0. Sweaty defeated Splink 3-0. And Brian defeated Saigai 1-0. Next up, we got Perplexity. We already covered Lux versus Rye, but Slap defeated Luke 6-0. Field defeated me 5-0. JJ versus Splurge did not happen yet. Izzy defeated TCK 1-0. Hacker defeated Tomcore 3-0. Devin received a forfeit win over Winner, who unfortunately dropped. And Blinn defeated Autumn 5-0. Next, we already covered Ollie versus Curtin Duality. Charlie defeated Ags 2-0. Simpleton defeated Eevee 3-0. Ampha defeated Fist 3-0. Abriel 6-0'd Saf before she dropped. Bloodcrawler took over in week 4. Cody defeated John 2-0. Peyton defeated Tremono 3-0 with a forfeit win. And Manbird defeated Burger 2-0. Next, we got Luxury. We already covered JCats versus HGC, but Firefin defeated Frosteye 2-0. Jacob defeated Stanny 3-0. Scoothawk defeated Jabba 2-0. Rizzo defeated Sunsun 3-0. Puffer defeated K Savage 3-0. Panda defeated Nerd 3-0. And Palkia defeated Ether 4-0. Lastly, we got Elementary. HWS defeated McGee already. We covered that. Irez defeated Leighton 3-0. Puck 6-0'd Frozen. Eno LR defeated Rakia. Darth Yoshi defeated Sweet AC. Alec defeated Ballhawk 1-0. Sengoku beat Azarine 5-0. And Chris defeated Arcadian 2-0. Lastly, we got this week's awards. Jimmy's Dio Speed takes home Nobility Pokemon of the Week with 5 kills and a 4-0 over Slick. Blinn Celesteela takes Perplexity Pokemon of the Week home with 5 kills. Abriel Salazzle takes home Duality Pokemon of the Week with 5 kills. Luxury Pokemon of the Week goes to Palkia's Reuniclus with 3. Darth Yoshi's Hydreigon with 5 and a 2-0 win over SweetTac takes it in Elementary. Rookie of the Week goes to Ollie with his win over Kurt that we covered. Luxury didn't join their games again. Abriel versus Saf won Wheelchair of the Week. And Manberg got Lolcow of the Week for prepping around getting a dual wing beat miss and actually getting it. And also the fact that he brought Cobbleberry and Buzzwole against an Aerodactyl. That's your roundup. Back to KHD and Killer. Alright, thank you, Solo KHD, and that's going to be the end of our 3rd episode for this season of MLP Primetime. I'd like to thank having Killer on the show. I think it was a good episode.
Thank you for having me. Hey, I thought my game with Brandon was great.
That was one of the better ones. Once we got down to the lower ones, all you did was complain.
Well, I mean, you know, people don't start out amazing at Pokemon. That's why we have multiple divs. And I hope people understand. I'm not trying to personally attack them. I just want to critique their plays and hope that they can improve.
This man is
I want to see them in nobility.
This man is a savage.
And this man is a bully, apparently.
So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next time.